You interested in free room and board, a union salary, and little or no responsibility?
I suppose I'd give it a shot.
The best opportunity to stop Free Navy is here, here, and here.
And if you don't?
We have a plan B. All pods, stand by for launch.
Everyone pucker up, it's about to get rough.
Here's the reactor.
Incoming! We need air support.
Negative. Those railguns will be all over us the second we stick our nose out. I'd rather get shot in the front than the back.
Me too.
All tanks, fall back!
Hey guys, Pete here. Today I'll be doing the final preview video for the final episode of The Expanse. It's a bittersweet occasion, but we might as well make the most of it, and the teasers they put out are a little more substantial than the ones we've had for previous episodes in Season 6. They're actually kind of crazy looking, and we'll also talk about what I think is the last installment in the X-Ray series that came out with Episode 5 and was titled Remember the Cant. It's a trip to the past with a much younger looking Holden before he signed on to the Canterbury. I'll be getting into all of that after this quick spoiler warning. If any of what I just mentioned sounded like spoilers, then this video won't be for you. And with that out of the way, let's get into it. The X-Ray mini episode opens with a voiceover with Holden saying that the doctrine of one ship encompasses the physical and the abstract, the known and the imagined, space and time, the future and the past. In the present day on the docks of Ceres, we see him standing there looking at what turns out to be the old graffiti with his face saying remember the Cant. Monica comes up and asks what he thinks that guy would have to say about everything that's going on, and Holden replies that he'd probably tell them to keep their heads down and stay out of trouble. She gives him a hug before she leaves, and then we flash back to 10 years earlier. We catch up with Captain McDowell, who we met in the very first episode of the first season. He's at a bar on Ceres, and he has some of his porcelain cat figurines along for the ride. And we see him ask for a drink as he's standing next to this season 1 character who was named the Gaunt Belter in the credits. He gets abrasive with him because he's an earther, and McDowell says sarcastically that, hey, you know, you're welcome for all that clean water we're bringing to the station, and flips him off. Then another familiar character, this time from season 2, makes a return and smashes one of his figurines when he comes up to the bar. At one of the tables, a clean-shaven, younger-looking Holden is drinking with a bunch of Belters. He's telling a funny story where he was nude, he was trying to get his pants back in a situation where he couldn't communicate, so he tried to make a gesture to explain what he wanted, but he was inadvertently propositioning the guy, so everyone laughs at his expense. McDowell comes up and asks him if he's an earther. In the process, he insults everyone at the table because he says, hey, you know, you're really good with these people, referring to the Belters. He tells him he has a line on a job, and Holden isn't interested. As he's about to walk away, he decides to make him a more attractive sounding offer, saying, you interested in free room and board, a union salary, and little to no responsibility. This turns out to be exactly what Holden's looking for, and he decides to hire on to the Cant. So 2 pretty great character returns. These characters both had small but memorable roles. The Gaunt Belter was the face of Ceres in episode 1 and the voice of the Belter people, and that was truly our first introduction to them and their situation. He did show up in the first episode of season 6, and I'm glad they found another way to work him in before it was all said and done. The second character was listed in the credits as Surly Belter Crewman when he made his appearance in season 2 episode 8. This is also the episode where we're introduced to Prax, and this Belter casually spaced all of the passengers that were from the inner planets on a refugee ship coming from Ganymede, and that included his friend Doris, who we saw taking care of him when we first meet him. So yeah, 2 small but really important roles as far as fleshing out the world, and it's great that they were able to bring them back. Young Holden was a nice surprise, and I thought they did a great job of showing where he came from, who he was at the beginning of this, what a journey he's had from literally just looking around, trying to do the least amount possible, and get through life without any real responsibility. This chance occurrence set him on a path to meet all of the future crew members of his family on the Rossi, which they'll find themselves in the middle of something huge when the Cant gets destroyed, and it's a perfect reminder of just how epic the journey they've been on that they've taken together is going into the series finale. Episode 6 is titled Babylon's Ashes, after the book it was primarily based on, which has been the standard practice for each of the season finales. I haven't seen an official description yet, but did see that the authors, Daniel Abraham and Franck, and showrunner Naren Shankar got the writing credit together, with Eisner directing. He's directed several episodes throughout the series, including the finales for season 4 and season 5, plus episode 1 of season 6. They put out 2 short teasers on social media yesterday, which are a little longer and also a little spoilery. They actually give away a pretty big event from the season finale. The first teaser opens with Admiral Siddiqui showing Avasarala and her advisors a plan to try to stop the Free Navy before they make it to the ring gate. This is what they were discussing in the last episode, and there the Admiral admitted that there was a chance it wouldn't work. So Avasarala asks what happens if they aren't able to stop them, and Holden says they have a plan B, and he says it with a fairly serious look on his face. From there it cuts to a shot of the Rossi approaching the ring, and they're with a larger ship that looks like a hauler rather than a military vessel. Holden says stand by for launch, and we see Bobby having a bumpy ride in her armor, and she says everyone pucker up, it's about to get rough. You can also see that Amos is right there with her in a suit as well. Then you see what looks like shipping containers being ejected from the back of the hauler, which is something we did see in the preseason teasers. Here though you do get a better look as they are moving through the gate and can see that it's a combination of makeshift container vessels with some skiffs and shuttles mixed in there. After that you see Bobby and Amos land on the surface of the ring station in their suits. You hear Bobby say that the reactor's over there as she's pointing, and there's a shot of what looks like the railgun firing that makes it look like things are pretty hairy. Also, the railgun looks gigantic when you see it up close. Then it looks like they take cover somewhere and call for air support as you see the Rossi using Medina Station to shield themselves from getting shot. Holden says they can't move to assist them, and then you hear Amos tell Bobby, I'd rather get shot in the front rather than the back, and she agrees. That teaser ends there, and it looks like the second one picks up right after that. In that one, Bobby's approaching the base of the railgun, firing her built-in multi-barrel rotary gun, which looks pretty cool. You do see some damage on her face shield. It looks like she's been hit, and in the HUD there's an icon that reads RPG, and another one that says target on the base of the gun in front of her. You see her sort of flipping head over heels and touching down on the deck, and when you see Amos, he looks pretty worried. And then the teaser ends with her fighting her way back up to her feet and looking at the target. It all looks action-packed with a lot of impressive looking visual effects, and they did a good job of pairing Amos and Bobby in scenes together leading up to this, which does add an extra dimension in the process of delivering some hype. And that's all there really is to say. We're almost at the end of the road. I've got a couple more live streams coming up and some other videos besides the one I'll be doing for the finale, so we'll try to keep the conversation going even though the show is coming to an end. Let me know in the comments what you think about these teasers and Baby Holden and what you're hoping to see in the finale. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.